Jake walked out of that interview feeling like he crushed it. Good answers, strong eye contact. He even made the hiring manager laugh twice. Then 1 week later, the rejection email. No feedback, no explanation. Just, we've decided to move forward with other candidates. And Jake did what most people do. He blamed his resume, his experience, maybe even the way he dressed. But here's what nobody told Jake, and what nobody has probably told you either. He lost that job before he ever answered a single question. There's a hidden interview running underneath the real one. It's silent, it's fast, and 90% of candidates never even know it exists. The interviewer is watching for something specific, something that separates the people who get offers from the ones who get politely ghosted. And it all comes down to one question, one moment, one shift in how you show up. I'm going to break it down for you today, and I'm going to give you the exact words to use. Stay until the end of this video, because the most important part, the actual secret most candidates never learn, I'm saving it for the final section. If you leave early, you'll walk into your next interview the same way Jake did, and you already know how that ends. This video is strictly educational content. Every point I make is backed by real hiring data and real industry experience. Human resources professionals are not your enemy, but the game has rules, and today, you're learning them. As the great Sun Tzu once said, every battle is won before it is ever fought. Your interview is no different. And real quick, if nobody ever taught you this stuff, you're exactly why this channel exists. Most people spend years learning how to do a job, but almost nobody teaches them how to actually get hired for one. So if you're serious about improving your career, avoiding costly mistakes, and giving yourself a better shot at opportunities that can genuinely change your life, hit that subscribe button. Not because it helps me, because the next video you watch here might be the one thing that keeps you from making a mistake that costs you your next opportunity. Now let's keep going, because the next mistake catches even qualified candidates off guard. Now here's something most people get completely backwards. Most candidates walk into an interview thinking their job is to answer questions well. Wrong. Your real job is to change the entire dynamic of the conversation. Research from Harvard Business Review found that interviewers form a strong first impression within the first 7 seconds of meeting a candidate, and spend the rest of the interview unconsciously confirming that first read. 7 seconds. You haven't even sat down yet. So before you say a single word about your experience, your skills, or your background, the interviewer has already started making a decision. The candidates who get hired understand this. The ones who don't keep wondering what went wrong. Here's the thing. You've been told to be yourself, be confident, be honest. And that's all true, but there's a layer underneath that nobody teaches you. The strategic layer. The layer where every single answer you give is either quietly building trust or quietly raising red flags. And the worst part? You won't know which one you're doing until it's already too late. Now this is where it gets serious. Let's talk about the question most candidates completely waste. At the end of almost every interview, the hiring manager will look at you and say, "Do you have any questions for us?" This is not small talk. This is not a courtesy. This is the most underestimated moment in the entire interview. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that candidates who asked high-quality, thoughtful questions were rated significantly higher in perceived competence and motivation than those who asked generic or no questions at all. Most people say one of two things. Either, "No, I think you've covered everything," which is the fastest way to end a strong interview on a dead note, or they ask something weak like, "What's the culture like here?" which every single candidate before you already asked. Both of those responses send the same silent message. I haven't thought past today. I'm just trying to survive this conversation. And in a room full of equally qualified candidates, that's the answer that quietly gets you cut. Here's what most people don't realize. The question you ask tells the interviewer more about how you think than almost anything else you say in that room. It signals whether you're already imagining yourself doing the job, or just hoping to get through the next 20 minutes without saying something wrong. Tyler, a senior recruiter at a Fortune 500 company with over a decade of experience building hiring pipelines, put it this way in a LinkedIn article that went viral in the HR community. The candidates who stand out don't just answer well, they change the direction of the conversation. So here's the one question that does exactly that. Based on everything we've talked about today, what do you think is the first real challenge whoever takes this role needs to tackle? Read that again. This question does 5 things simultaneously. 1. It shows you're already thinking in terms of results, not just landing the job. 2. It forces the interviewer to picture you in the role. 3. It gives you real, actionable intelligence about what you're walking into. 4. It signals confidence. Only someone who actually believes they're getting the offer asks about challenges on day 1. 5. It makes the interviewer pause, and a pause means you just said something they weren't expecting. According to LinkedIn's Global Talent Trends report, hiring managers consistently rank intellectual curiosity and strategic thinking as 2 of the top traits they look for, and most candidates never demonstrate either after the opening handshake. That one question demonstrates both, in under 15 seconds. Now here's where things shift. You also need a second strong question in your back pocket, because 1 question looks interested, 2 questions looks prepared. Try this one. Why is this role currently open? Simple, direct, powerful. The answer will tell you everything. Did someone get promoted out of it? That means there's real growth opportunity. Did someone burn out? That means there's a workload problem you need to understand. Was someone let go? That's important context going in. You're not being nosy. You're being smart, and a good hiring manager will respect you more for asking it. What you want to avoid completely: questions about vacation days, remote work flexibility, or salary in a first interview. Those are not bad questions. They're just badly timed. Save them for the negotiation stage. In the first interview, they land as signals that you're already thinking about how little you have to do and how much you can take. Timing is everything. Now let's talk about something deeper. Something most career coaches won't tell you directly. The entire interview is a performance. Not in a fake way. In the same way a surgeon performs surgery, or a lawyer performs in court. Your real skill and your presented skill need to match. But how you frame that skill matters enormously. Research from Princeton University showed that judgments of competence, based purely on appearance and first impression, predicted election outcomes with 70% accuracy. In interviews, the same psychological principle applies. People make quick, instinctive calls, and then gather evidence to support what they already decided. That means your job isn't just to be qualified. It's to feel qualified to the person across the table. Candidates who understand this don't just answer questions. They guide the conversation. They redirect. They reframe. They leave the interviewer thinking, I don't know exactly what it is about that person, but they just feel right. That feeling is engineered, and now you know how. Here's the part I told you to wait for, the real secret. The one thing that separates candidates who consistently get offers from the ones who consistently don't. It's not qualifications. It's not experience. It's not even how well they answer the standard questions. It's this. The best candidates make the interviewer feel like they're already talking to a colleague, not evaluating a stranger. The moment that shift happens, the entire dynamic changes. The interviewer stops thinking about whether to hire you and starts thinking about where you'll fit on the team. That question, what's the first real challenge this role needs to tackle, is the key that unlocks that shift. Because suddenly you're not a candidate anymore. You're a problem solver. And every company on earth is looking for one of those. Walk in with that question ready. Walk in knowing what you're there to give, not just to get. As Benjamin Franklin once said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. You now know what most candidates will never know. Use it. If this video changed how you're going to walk into your next interview, hit like right now. It genuinely helps this content reach people who need it. Subscribe if you want more real, no-fluff strategies that actually work in the real world. Drop your biggest interview challenge in the comments. I read them all, and your question might become the next video. You came here for information. You got it. Now go get that offer.